Now let's see features of business. First feature is sale, transfer or exchange. As we had already discussed when we were discussing terms, the meaning of sale, transfer and exchange. Children, sale, transfer and exchange carry same meaning. That means selling of goods by the seller to the buyer in exchange of money. Transferring of goods from the seller to the buyer in exchange of money, and exchange of goods by the seller to the buyer in return of money. That means business involves sale, transfer or exchange of goods and services for consideration. That consideration is money. If there is no sale or exchange for price, it will not be a business activity. Suppose a person is producing a goods for himself and he is consuming or he is producing this good for his friend or his relative or family member. That means here he is not exchanging it with money. So when a person is not exchanging goods with money, it will not be termed as business activity. So two keywords, sale, transfer or exchange for consideration, and if there is no sale, it will not be a business activity. Next subhead, dealings in goods and services. Now, every business buys or produces goods for selling it to others. The production of something or personal consumption will not be a business activity. Children, as we know that business involves production as well as exchange of goods and services. Production, that is businessman himself produces product and sell it to others, or exchange means the businessman becomes the middleman, like your retailer. He purchases from the wholesaler and just sell it to you. That means here he is not producing the product, but he is exchanging the product. He is buying from one place and selling it to another place. Buying from the producer, wholesaler, buying from the producer and selling it to the retailer. So wholesaler is exchanging goods. He is a businessman. Retailer, buying it from the producer and selling it to the consumer. That means buying from one place, selling it to other place. Retailer, he is also a businessman. So dealings in goods and services is an important aspect of business, where the businessman buys or produces goods for selling it to others. And if the intention of a person is not to exchange goods, he may produce or he may buy for personal consumption. So if he is buying or producing for personal consumption, it will not be termed as business. Next is regular dealing. Business involves series of dealing. That means a single transaction cannot be termed business. Why a single transaction not be termed a business? Suppose a person sells his second-hand scooter to his friend or to anyone in exchange of money. Now this cannot decide whether the person has earned profit or not. And earning profit just with one transaction or getting a loss only in one transaction cannot decide whether that is a profit oriented business or not. So one transaction cannot decide whether that type of business will earn profit or will face loss. Therefore, only one transaction cannot be termed as business. Next is profit motive. Children, the primary aim of business is to earn profit and acquire wealth. As we know that the profit motive or economic motive is the main keyword of business. So, the primary objective of business is to earn money and acquire wealth. Now, why business need to earn profit? Because profit is essential for survival, growth and expansion of business. If a businessman starts his business and he is not able to earn profit, he will not be able to get funds for meeting all his expenses, major or minor expenses. Now, when a businessman starts getting profit and the business becomes stable, then the businessman needs more profit, that is more money, for expanding or growth of the business. Because when he want to expand or grow his business, he needs more resources, more workforce, more machinery, and in order to purchase all these things, he need more funds, which he'll get in the form of profit. But business should earn this profit by serving the society. That is, by providing those products which are required by the society. Next feature is creation of utilities. Business makes goods useful to the consumer. Children, utility means usefulness. So a business should make goods useful to the consumer. He creates time, place, form and position utility. Form utility by changing the form of raw material to finished goods, which can be used by the consumer. Time utility with the help of warehouse. He keeps goods in the warehouse till the demand arises, and as soon as the demand arises, he supplies good on time. Place utility with the help of transportation. He moves good from his place, from the place of production to the place of consumption, that is to the consumers, with the help of transportation. Position utility he creates by transferring goods from the buyer to the consumers. Next feature is element of risk. Children, risk implies possibility of loss due to uncertainties of future. Now risk arise because the future is uncertain and we cannot predict it exactly what is going to happen in future. So because future is uncertain and there are several factors which are beyond the control of businessman, the businessman has to face risk. But the extent of risk depends on the investment. If the businessman has invested a huge sum of money, he will face a huge risk. If the businessman has invested a smaller sum of money, the extent of risk will be small or low. Economic activity. Business involves production and distribution of goods and services for satisfying human want. The objective is to sell goods for profit. Like any other economic activity, the main motive of business is to earn profit. Therefore, it is an economic activity. It also involves use of scarce resources like any other economic activity. And the business helps a businessman in generating income. And the main motive of economic activity is to generate income. Therefore, a business is an economic activity as the main objective of business is to earn profit and it helps a businessman to generate income.